Hey everyone, John Hartley, and I'm here with today's mail. Got another early commemorative in, and this is another one from 1936. And 1936 was the year that I think destroyed the early commemoratives, and because it started out, with the Columbian Exposition, a great big event that needed some fundraising, and it was a good idea. And it developed on down until you hit 1936, where anyone who had a congressman's ear could get their own commemorative coin. Not their own, but for any cause, large or small. And this is one that's relatively small. I mean, it's not for the people that did it, but for the rest of the world. And the Columbian Exposition was a worldwide event. And this coin is, as you'll see, a county-wide event. I don't know how many people have seen Bubba Sully's on eBay. I don't think I've ever purchased anything from them before. So this coin looked good in the pictures. It gave plenty of good pictures. So let's see. The reverse so far looks like it has nice luster. Let's start on the obverse. Oh man, the reading is just like holding a brand new silver eagle. I mean, this thing is sharp. This is the York County, the first county in Maine, early commemorative coin of 1936. So it commemorates the starting of a county. The obverse has the town shield, I guess you would call it. It's a cross and a pine tree. And it has dual dates of the tricentenary. Say that one time fast. And the reverse has the compound where the county was first settled. York County is a coastal county in Maine, and its only claim to fame nowadays is that it is where Kennebunkport is located, where the Bush family compound is. So, unremarkable. They originally said they would strike up to 30,000 of these coins. They made 25,015 coins initially in the first strike, and what became the only strike. 15, when you see something like that, the 15 coins are assay coins or test coins to see if the strikes are sufficient and everything, if there are any problems they need to work out. But they sold these 50-cent pieces to citizens of Maine for $1.50. If you were not a citizen of Maine, it was the York County Commission that was selling them. If you're, or the Tricentenary Commission. If you weren't a citizen of Maine, you had to pay a extra charge of 15 cents, so $1.65. And they sold these coins. A lot of Commemoratives mostly, when the coins stopped selling or the event was over, they would send them back to the mint and they would be melted down, and I assume they would get credit for it or money back or what have you. I don't know how if they put money up forth or anything. But they kept their coins. They kept all of them, and they sold them until the 1950s. And the book I read that told me that didn't say if they sold out or not. They said they sold them until the 1950s, and that gem quality coins are available. And though it didn't say it, I think they meant that because they were coins that had not been circulated since the 30s, they were circulated since the 50s. And at that point, they were pretty much, sometimes the early commemoratives were bought up by people around the event, and they were put in their pockets and carried as souvenir pieces or what have you. If you bought a coin like this in the 50s, you might, the way I'm thinking, you might put it away for a collector's piece, and that might be why there's so many available in good shape. Just because it's available in good shape doesn't mean that they are inexpensive. That one cost a pretty penny. So I was thinking about this coin coming in, and I decided I hadn't done an update of my early commemoratives in a while. So I'll show them all right now, and if you're just here to see today's unboxing and are not concerned about the ones I purchased over the period of the last 20 years, you can cut it off now. But if you are, I'll show them to you. If this video goes too long, I may make it a two-parter, but I don't know yet. I'm going to go in reverse order from the latest date. The last early commemorative issued is the Washington Carver from 1952. The worst reverse design on any of the early commemoratives. Early commemoratives had some great designs, but that is ugly. This is probably one of the reasons why that was the last one. The next to the last one was 6 years earlier. This one doesn't have a lot of luster left. It's got a little corner on the side, but this is Booker T. Washington, 1946, San Francisco, from slave to log cabin. From the same year, one of my slabs. I joined NGC for 1 year, had 2 coins slabbed, was disappointed in the results, and just let my subscription lapse. But this is a good looking coin. It's MS63 due to hairlines, from what they told me. Nice picture of, I think that's their state house. And we skip a few years back. This is relatively new to my collection, probably in the last year, I think. Roanoke, this, what's the guy's name? He put his coat, Walter Raleigh, Sir Walter Raleigh. Dropped his coat in a mud puddle so the queen didn't get her feet wet. Nice looking coin. That's Virginia Dare, and her mother. Virginia Dare was the first real American citizen other than Native Americans. She was the first Easterner to be born in the mainland. This is Columbia. It says South Carolina, but which is sometimes what it's commonly referred to, but it's the sesquicentennial celebration of Columbia, South Carolina, which is my home state. I don't live in Columbia, but I go there quite often. And the weirdest looking palmetto tree I've ever seen, but it's kind of Art Deco-ish. That's our state tree, the palmetto tree, because we have so much coastal area. Last two coins are getting into the 36s. This is the Oakland Bay Bridge. Big bear there. And the Oakland Bay Bridge. Nice design, a lot of intricacy in that. So, not bad. Talking this morning, got my mouth dry. Let me get some coffee. That's good. Bridgeport, Connecticut. P.T. Barnum's on the front of their coin, I guess, because he lived there. This is a nice coin, but it's an old, it's a rattler. But, yeah, I've had thoughts about it. The case is so scratched. Should I break it out, get it regraded, or just leave it be? That's my ice maker dropping again. That happened the last time I was making a video. Another 1936. This is a recent coin I've gotten. Elgin. This is an interesting video because I ordered some coins at the same time I ordered this coin. This coin came from nowhere in particular, but the other coins that I ordered came from Elgin. Just kind of weird. This coin is known for having a frosted finish, and it also is known for having a mark on the die, and that mark on the die transferred right there. It's hard to pick up, but look at images of coins. Just Google this coin and look at images of it, and you'll see that's not a mark on my coin. That's transferred from the die. All right, another 1936 Long Island. This one's not a bad coin. I wish it had a little bit more luster. Eventually, some of these days, one of these days, when I have a little more time and patience and maybe some more money, I'm going to cull out some of these that aren't quite as shiny and order new ones, better examples. 1936 Arkansas. This is one of two Arkansas. I'm going to get the other one eventually. It's got some Indians on the obverse instead of this politician. And the state seal, which is an attractive eagle. This one has very bright surfaces. I've looked at it closely. It's not clean, it's not polished. It's just shiny as it can be. Lynchburg, Virginia. That guy, whoever he is named Carter Glass. He was alive when this coin was made. I think that it was either him or the guy from the Arkansas one. But very nice design on the reverse. I like the way they've done that lady. This one was my income tax return from last year. Gettysburg is a quite pricey coin. This one's got some nice toning to it. A little bit of goldish toning. And fasces and the shields of the Union and the Confederacy. And I live in the South, but my ancestors, I have two great-great-grandfathers that were on each side. And their families didn't merge until my parents got married. But yet you go back and look at some of my old videos, my great-great-grandfather from the South lived in this town. He's the one that bought the house that I now own. And my great-great-grandfather from the North, during Sherman's march from the sea to Columbia, South Carolina, part of his unit came through this town. So my great-great-grandfather he was from Pennsylvania, he may have stepped foot in this house because this house was occupied by the general in charge of the forces that came through. Cleveland, see, 1936, anybody can get a coin, even Cleveland. Interesting design, got a compass over the Great Lakes. I think in all they made, they made there were 21 coins that were either all made in 1936, or at least some of these were made over a number of years. People got carried away because they were good sellers and they were sold for several different years. So there's 21 coins that were made in part or whole in 1936. I like this design, California Pacific Expo. It's got buildings of the expo there. This is a nice coin, got a nice luster. I think I'll keep it. Daniel Boone, 1935. Lack of luster on this coin. It's a little dull. There's Daniel talking to some Indian. Maybe they're going to smoke a peace pipe. Texas. I like this coin, and I probably bought it too quickly because it has such a cool design, especially this reverse. But it doesn't have luster. Another dull coin. So this may be one that goes up for sale when I buy a new one. 1926 American Sesquicentennial. Try to get as close to this as I can. This is a $2.50 gold piece. It's MS62. And the reason it's a 62 is if you look in the 2 o'clock position, it's got some gunk on the coin. So that's Independence Hall on the reverse. This is one of my favorites. My favorite early commemorative of all time, and my favorite, if you take into account only one side of the coin, that's my favorite coin design of all time, the Oregon Trail. This is a very nice, lustre coin. That that Indian is standing there with his hand outstretched like a traffic cop saying, "Hey, guys, stay on the East Coast." But we didn't. Good or bad, because you know what came out of that. California. See, seem to be going a little bit more insane every year. No, this is not a political channel, so another coin from the sesquicentennial. This is the silver $50, obviously. Yeah, all these coins, except for the gold, of course, are 90% silver, of course. These coins are commonly known to have a very weak strike. So it's hard to find a really good example of that coin. This is the other coin, the first coin I ever had graded by NGC. It flawless, in my opinion, has some color on the bottom of the obverse, and when I got it back I didn't understand the about uncirculated condition, but someone I know that works at NG or used to work at NGC said that there is wear on the bear's elbow. Now I don't see any, but I don't work at NGC. So Stone Mountain, I've got 4 of these coins. I don't know why I don't have a better example. It's a relatively common coin. I better hurry up. I don't have enough time to finish, and this is going to be forever. Lexington Concord, another coin with no luster. Here's a coin with some luster. This is the one I got just a couple weeks ago, Huguenot. No need to dwell on this coin, you just saw it in a video. If you didn't, go back and look. And the Monroe Doctrine. This has got okay luster. It's not as dull as some of them. I wish the reverse were a little bit more defined, because North and South America, if you look closely, are 2 ladies. And my Grant's a semi-hard coin to get, but this one has very little luster. Let's see here. It's not focusing all of a sudden. Maybe it's because I'm running low on time. Missouri. Guy telling an Indian where to go. Probably didn't work out that well for him. Alabama. Nice lustrous coin. 1921. Great eagle on the reverse. Love it. Got this one last year. This is Maine. Kind of plain coin, but still a great example. Very nice. Pilgrim. I know I can do better than this. This has another one that's very dull. A lot of ships on the reverses. Lincoln, 1918. This is a nice coin. Got a hint of color. And a nice eagle on the reverse. Getting almost close to time finish here, y'all. 1916 McKinley $1 gold piece. Yeah. Nice coin. Very small. 1.67 grams of gold. This is not an easy one to find, y'all. 1915, this is San Francisco Pac Expo, Panama Pacific Expo. Great design, got a cherub holding up fruit, which she in turn is spreading out across the land. And a really nice eagle. If the eagle looks familiar to you, yes, it is the Morgan Dollar Eagle. They sneak stuff like that past you every once in a while at the mint. One of these days I'll get a better example. This is a AU at best, and probably extra fine example of Isabella quarter. But if you want a really nice example of the Isabella quarter, that's what my old stapler used to do. That's why I bought that new swing line. I'll put this in a new holder probably today, since I took them out of the album. So I knew Isabella's on the way. And the very first one, Columbian Exposition. This is not a bad coin. I've got a few of these because they're very, very affordable. And that's one of Columbus's ships. We got the globe with both the eastern and western hemisphere. And that is all. And it looks like I've got 3 minutes left on my card. So, but I'm not going to take up that whole 3 minutes. I know it's, if you made it this far, you're either really interested in early commemoratives, or you like torturing yourself. So, thanks for watching. This is all. Damn, that wasn't in the holder, and I just put my thumb on it. This is all for the York County, which is a really nice new example of an early commemorative that I just got in the mail. Thought I'd retouch on that because it's been so long you might have forgotten what we were talking about originally. So my first Eagles of the year are on order. They have not shipped yet. When the dealer gets his Eagles in, you know, the Mint doesn't sell regular Eagles. They send them to dealers, sell them to dealers, and you have to get them on the open market. But I got 3 coming in, 2 for the tube, 1 for the album, and I've got an album that's just plain old Eagles, not an album of proofs or anything like that. Because it started with the first one I saw. It was in a curio shop in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'd collected coins, and I'm like, where did that come from? I hadn't heard anything about Eagles. It was in 1986, so that's where the first one came from, and it went on from there. All right, what else? I have some wheat cents on order, and Thursday the Apollo 11 coins go on order, so I'm ordering a few things from that, and when that order gets here, I'll show them to you. But until the next thing comes along, I'm 1042.